vinyl community. This is Mark from Westchester coming at you. I think this is my 10th video of my record collection. Haven't done one in a while. I know thousands of you have missed me. Anyway, okay. So let's just get on with it. These are the Fs. What you're listening to right now is this, the Fabiano Orchestra. Butterfly Island. This is pretty darn cool stuff. This is a percussionist down in South America, and Bicho Feo pointed out this album. There's a flyer inside. This is a limited edition. It's a great little album. Really enjoy it. It's got some reggae, it's got some funk, got some rock. It's very nice. Next up, I have Fairport Convention's 9. I do love Fairport Convention. I should have more of their records, but I do not. And yes, for those of you who don't know, what is that? That's a CD of all the records that I make. I make a CD of every record that I listen to so that I can play it in the car. Yes, I have a CD player in my car. Isn't that amazing? Anyway. Does anybody know the group Fanny? George Harrison suggested the name Fanny for this group. These are 4 ladies back in the 70s. First thing I heard from them was Hey Bulldog, and they were really good. There's some good videos of them online. This is, I think, their best album, at least the one that I know of, ones that I know of. Charity Ball, this is another great album from them. Try to get the shine out of there. Bring that up. And there's another one I have. I don't think this one's as good. Mother's Pride. I want a little bit of a fanny kick. Get it? Fanny kick. I got these albums. You can see. Alright. And I do have this Brian Ferry album, which has my favorite 2HB on here. He did his own version of it. It was with Roxy Music, and they did a version of it, but I don't even know that version. This one is supposedly better, and I really, really like it. I heard it on the radio numbers of years ago. Let's see here. There we go. Those who are into Procol Harum would know who Matthew Fisher is. He was the keyboard player, the organ player of said group, and this album came out in around 1974 or so, and you listen to the whole album, it sounds like he's really ticked off at somebody in Procol Harum. There's a lot of anger, sadness and anger in this album. I particularly like Journey's End and Interlude, which have been the last 2 songs on the album. Alright, what do we have next? Flats and Scruggs. Okay, now this is country stuff, but these guys are like, this is all instrumental with Doc Watson, so I'm into it. Couldn't tell you one song on here. Let me see. Do I know any of these? Not really. But I do have them on my iPod. It just doesn't seem to go to those songs in my shuffle. Okay. Do I have Fleetwood Mac? Yeah. In fact, I think I bought my first Fleetwood Mac maybe 10 years ago, and I grew up with the latter Fleetwood Mac version with Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks. But I discovered the early Fleetwood Mac with Peter Green in it, and this is the one album I have with him on it. There is a very, very wonderful series called Rock Tree Families, Rock Family Trees, and one consists of this band Fleetwood Mac, and it's fascinating. Nobody could have written a more bizarre story about a rock band. Peter Green being stoned by cultists and another guy running off with another cult and another guy having an affair with Mick Fleetwood's wife and all kinds of stuff. And then we get into the Stevie Nicks and Buckingham thing, which just about everybody knows about. But here is, which one is this? This is Future Games. And this has Danny Kerwin on there as the guitar player. I forget which guy did what when it came to losing their minds, but it's really quite weird. Fleetwood Mac, Bare Trees. I do like the song Bare Trees a lot. That's my favorite song on here. Mick Fleetwood is quite the drummer. If you listen to his playing, you really listen to his playing, he plays some pretty damn cool stuff when it comes to his beats. The Penguin album. Yes, the Z Penguin album. I know not much about the Penguin album. I bought these things, listened to them, recorded them, and then I just listened to them, and I don't know which album what song is on and what song is not. Here's the inside of the album. Hey, they're doing a Paul McCartney thing with Wings Wildlife. That's kind of weird. Maybe it's the same tree. Who knows? For those of you who know Wings Wildlife. Mystery to Me. Mystery to Me, what that girl is doing. This has Bob Welch on it, I'm pretty sure. Let's see here. Just open it up. Let's just open everything up. What the heck? Clean up later, you know? Here's the band. Check them out. There's Bob Welch. There's Mick Fleetwood. You can always tell Mick Fleetwood by his eyes. Christine McVie up there on the top. This guy looks like the dude from Gentle Giant. Maybe he made a guest appearance. Who knows? Now we get into Fleetwood Mac with Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham. This was their first album with Mick Fleetwood and the McVies. Very famous album. And an even more famous album is the Rumors album. And again, I didn't buy any of this stuff. In fact, I hated this stuff when I was in high school. I couldn't stand listening to this music because it was all over the radio, and I was sick and tired of hearing it. But as the years went by, I grew to find that I liked some of their stuff. In fact, quite a bit of their stuff. This is the album Tusk, which was released after Rumors, and this was kind of like a anti-Rumors album. Very, very strange story about this album. Oh, geez, it doesn't really open up. There's the band going, why don't you, they're all talking to Lindsey right there, saying, hey, man, why the heck can't we make another Rumors? Because, man, I'm into, like, tusks and stuff. Yeah. They recorded out of his home in a bathroom and all kinds of groovy things. All right. So that's it on my Fleetwood Mac. There is a song called Peacemaker, which I like, and I forget which album that's from, but I'm going to get that out because of Peacemaker. It's a good album from 2003 or something. Okay. This is a band, Focus, that I knew about when I was a kid because of the la-di-da, Focus, Hocus Pocus. And that's all I knew about them until maybe 6 or 7 years ago or something. And then I discovered this is a really excellent band. And I bought a ton of their stuff. Well, more, kind of a ton of their stuff. This is In and Out of Focus. I don't know if I have these in chronological order or not. Obviously I don't, because Focus 3 is here. Focus 3, it has a slide out thingy. This is pretty neato. They're really wonderful. Jan Ackerman, just amazing. Guitar player, plays lute. Everybody in the band's excellent. Yeah, I think my albums are falling. Stop that. They need to get focused. Stay focused. All right. So that's that. Here is Hamburger Concerto. And that's quite a long piece of music, the Hamburger Concerto. Let's see if I can see the writing down there at the bottom. There's great videos of them online. Focus Live at the Rainbow. don't think you can go wrong with Focus if you like fusion-y music. This is a sort of a retrospective. It's a 2-record set released on Music on Vinyl. I actually have another one that I haven't cataloged yet. It's over in that pile over there, but you're not going to see it. Okay, so now we get into Foghat. Get this? Rock and Roll. Pretty slicko, huh? I bought this mainly because of the tune Long Way to Go. And I found that was really the only tune on here that I really, really dug. I'll have to listen to this album again some year. Okay, now this is an oldie, but a greatie. The Folk Box. Now this was released in Record Day a few years ago, but this is the original copy back in 1964 that was released. My parents picked this thing up. Here's Folkway Records. Can you dig that? Well, you can sort of see that. All right, there we go. Folkway Records. My parents took pretty good care of their records too. This has tons of folk musicians. Now, 1964 was a long time ago, but the people of that era were on here, like Phil Oakes and Tom Paxton. But there were people like Lead Belly and like who else here? I can't even see. I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Well, anyway, there's 6 records here. 6 sides, I should say. Or is it 4 records? 4 records, 8 sides of music. And you probably can find this because it was released on Record Day. And it's probably up on eBay or something. Okay. I have one Aretha Franklin album. I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You. I do have some of her stuff on CDs, but not too much on vinyl. I'd like to get like an old retrospective of her stuff with Atlantic. When she was with Columbia before Atlantic, they tried to make her a jazz singer. Little did they know. Anyway, Free, the band Free. Now, this is the band that was the precursor of Bad Company. And believe me, at least in my opinion, a much better band than Bad Company. I just don't dig Bad Company whatsoever, except the first album was good. But this is like the best stuff they did. I guess you could say the best stuff they did. Fire and Water. Great, great song. And of course we have All Right Now, which has got probably one of the, let's say, 5 best guitar solos in rock and roll history in it. That is a wonderful solo in that song. And the trouble is that song has been beaten into the ground by television. Nobody wants to hear it anymore, but if you listen to it as though you listened to it the first time, you'll just go, oh yeah, that was really great. Okay. Bill Frisell is my next artiste in the F's. And this is kind of a bizarro one. I just love Bill Frisell. I saw him twice now, and I plan to go see him again this year. He is such a treasure. He's so sublime, yet he can be so incredibly wild at the same time. He does everything. He does all styles of music. He is the consummate artist. Those of you who do not know Bill Frisell, you should check out Bill Frisell. He's been around for years and years and years. I don't know how many recordings he's done. This is a relatively new one called Guitar in the Space Age, where he's done covers of all these songs like Pipeline and Surfer Girl and, Telstar. It's very entertaining. And it's all instrumental, which we love. And then there is Big Sur, which again was released pretty recently when he was, I think he lives out in Big Sur, I forget. And he has this this group that he plays with. There's no bass players, like cello and violin and drummer and him. And here is what it looks like on the inside. And there's all the liner notes. And you can freeze everything and read all that stuff if you wish. You can hardly go wrong with Bill Frisell. I do have other things of his on CD, which I haven't found on vinyl yet. Okay, and finally, Funk Factory. Now this is something relatively new to me, done back in the 70s, 1975, has some of the best players in New York City on it, including Steve Gadd. And there's these two dudes from, I don't know where, from Czechoslovakia or something. And they got this thing together with all these musicians. And it's really good. It's the first time I listened to it, I thought it felt like everything was compressed and the drums were so big. But on a second listening, I liked it better. The first side, I think, is better than the second. If you get it, you can figure that out for your own. For your own, on your own, whatever. Okay, so that's it for my Fs. Now the next time that I'm on, so I get my hair all nice and thin. Next time that I'm on, I hope to be presenting my own album. I have a group called One Alternative, and we have released a CD, and the LP is coming in the next few weeks, so I will be bringing that to the forefront. And other than that, I think that's it for now. Everybody take care. I do love the Frank Zappa phrase, music is the best, so remember that. Bye-bye.